Doc is back. Welcome to Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis, hosted by Tyrone Robertson. Join Doc and his guests as they discuss healthcare and the Caribbean community every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on caribcast.tv, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and most other popular podcast platforms.
I didn't grow up here, but Broward County has become home to me. This is where I settled. I raised my family here and started my practice here. For over 20 years, I've represented my neighbors, people who needed help in a stressful time. If you find yourself in need of an attorney, reach out to someone you can trust, someone with a proven track record.
When a car accident or personal injury sets you back, call Scott McCullough.
954-989-3435.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. Doc.
How is everything?
Well, most things are good with me. How are things with you?
Yeah, I only have one report to give.
All right. What
My
report?
entire family is now vaccinated.
Outstanding.
And 90% are my friends.
All right.
And I ain't talking to the 10% of my friends till they get it because they're stupid.
All right.
If they know me all these years, they know how much I'm trusted in medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't come and ask me how to buy a house. I have no idea. How to buy a car, I don't. How to teach in school, well, some of that I know. But medicine? And you listening to Dr. Google and that crap you're hearing online? That's an insult to me. All my patients who have not insulted me. Because you're wasting your money coming to me. If this is my profession I'm doing for 50 years.
Okay.
I ain't talking about plenty times I talk about things I really know about, but this time I know this. I'm not just talking about personal experience. If I add that to it, I become an expert. Because not only I know the science, I got it.
Yes, that in itself, is something that you stated months and months ago. That you would be first in line to take this vaccination.
Yeah.
And you did so.
Yeah, but right now I feel like John the Baptist. I'm in the wilderness. And nobody is listening to me, Tyrone. You know what John said? He went down, he said, I healed it, and I'm in the wilderness. Well, nobody is listening to the expert on this. Well, I'm here talking about Fauci, you're talking about me. Expert from learning it in science, using it in people, and taking it myself. Jesus, where you want more than that?
I don't know, Doc. I don't know.
And I mean, that's why we are going to be left behind in this country. Not because of the vaccine, but that's our attitude. You want to buy a car, you ask your neighbor.
Go with the facts. Go with the experts.
Tyrone, I swear to God, I don't buy a car. My granddaughter just get one. I went to my car friend.
That's his business.
I call him, I say, listen, I need you.
That's what he does all day, every day.
Tell me what to do.
Yes.
I don't want no new car.
Mm-hmm.
She's only 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he say, okay, Winston. And he's involved in all the auctions. He sells to the used car people.
Right.
And I went to him, I said, Peter, listen to me. He said, well, Winston, boy, how long you want this car to last? I tell him, well, no, she finishing, and at least 4 more years in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, yeah, man, easy. I'll get you one that will go longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me up and showed me 2-3 of them. He said, well, we have Honda. And by the way, you know what kind of car island people like?
Right,
foreign.
Of course.
Show me Toyota. He ain't show me no Chevy and them things. No. And then I say, okay, Peter, so buy this. Tell me, yeah. By the way, listen to this now. What happened to my granddaughter who's now in law school?
Mm-hmm.
She's still driving the car. Peter gave her to go to FSU.
Mm-hmm.
So it lasted through FSU, and it lasted 2 years into law school. And why did I do that? Did I look at the commercial, buy here, pay here? No. Did I look for something saying we'll give you back $5,000? If you believe that, all I'm thinking, we'll give you $3,000. I want to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. Right? I go to the expert. The reason I'm trying to tell them now why I'm hurt, I am sensible enough to know me and know nothing but car. I don't. By the way, I call my mortgage man and my real estate guy in Gainesville.
Yes.
He used to live here, now he moved. I don't make a move. We good friend. Where you would do this, John? Where you do it? He say, okay, Winston, no, don't sell it. Because you got it at a good, I want to refi. He say, you mad? That sweetheart deal they make with you. That's why they're writing you every day that they could give you to change.
Trying to get out of that deal.
Right. The point I'm making though, Tyrone, same thing. If it's with you, Tyrone, and you're an expert in what you do, I'm stupid not to use you to explain to me what I should do in an event of a place, something that have to do with the business that you do. But these people come in with theories, they read here and they hear here. Jesus, 50 years I'm a doctor. 50 years of dealing with virus. 50 years of dealing with the HIV, which is a virus. HPV virus. The one that causes warts. Same HPV, but the one
Yes.
Oh, virus is not new to me. And people probably don't even know what a virus is, but yes, you read in Dr. Google and all them stuff in this one, conspiracy theory. When you hear Doc say, me taking it, you don't take it. When you hear I say, not only that, my family, my children, that's my life.
That's right.
My grandchildren, I can't wait for them to get it, the one who in high school. So I'll go over this one last time because I'm really getting angry. All right? Viruses has been around from the beginning of time.
All right.
It's just that they have decided now is the time that they're really going to make our life miserable. All right. The plague was a virus. Smallpox was a virus. Polio was a virus. Yellow fever is a virus. Zika that we had the other day is a virus. This is nothing new.
Right.
All right.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, please listen, digest what is being said, and you know what? If you have a little doubt, go to reputable sources.
Yes.
Go to the CDC.
Talk to your doctor.
Talk to your doctor. Talk to a physician.
Somebody who you trust.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Anyway,
there are a couple of things I want to do. Talking about what we make it from. Penicillin is made from a fungus. You know them thing that grow between your toe and thing? A type. It's not the same.
Right.
And we notice that this fungus make a chemical that kill the bacteria around it. So what we do? We take the fungus, we get the penicillin out of it, and we treat people, and we find out, lo and behold, it kills bacteria. Okay? Of course, we find some side effects with it too. But then we do this. We weigh the side effects against how many people's lives it saves.
Right.
And even if this have side effects, look at the amount it's worth the risk. All right? And guess what we did after that? You see anybody make penicillin for mold anymore? That's how they made it in the 40s and 50s.
Right.
You know what we do? We find out the molecule and we use chemistry to make it ourselves. We don't need the fungus to make it for us. We can make it. Reason I'm bringing this up, the thing that we use to vaccinate people is not the virus. Let me repeat that again. Is not, just like with the penicillin, we learn to make something in the virus that cannot infect you, but will fool your body into making antibodies against it.
And those antibodies are what are
and somebody
fighting
tell me,
the virus.
they want no foreign antibodies. It's not foreign. The antibodies is your body. What do you mean by foreign? There's no such thing as a foreign antibody. Antibodies your body make every day, all day to fight a cold, to find a cut on your hand.
So I have a few questions for you now that have come up.
Yeah.
That I've promised that I would ask you.
Sure.
So the first one is the Johnson & Johnson virus, which is only one vaccine versus two, one injection versus two. What, if you're at liberty to say, what is the difference?
All right. There's a molecule called DNA. Everybody know it, chromosomes. That's what they look on CSI and
Yes.
All them gangster movies. Your DNA. You see that whole row thing? They show you up on it? That's copies. That's what they look like, your DNA chemically. All right? Everybody have two of those.
Okay.
Not the same thing, but the equal, the complemental. Half of it represents DNA, RNA.
Right, okay.
So we copy the half and we make the antibody to it. Johnson & Johnson coupled the whole thing. That's why they call that DNA. That's the whole molecule.
Okay.
And RNA is half of it. The piece we take out is specifically for the spike.
Okay.
The DNA is probably the whole virus.
Got you. Okay.
That's why, notice, we think Johnson & Johnson is how much injection?
1.
Thank you. Because it may give you a bigger response with the antibodies than the one alone. We show you.
Okay.
So it's the same technology.
Right.
It's just the mRNA, I believe, is quicker to make. And remember, we're on warp speed.
Right.
You notice they came out last.
Yes. All right. So
All right, wait. The other thing is, Johnson & Johnson have been working on this for years. The mRNA has been working on this for years. You could make it to any virus. You could so they were just checking how we could make it what warp speed. I mean, it started from the beginning. When Trump said, okay, warp speed, they say, all right, let's try to make a vaccine. It's in progress.
okay.
But what they said, drop every other research you're doing on viruses. Everybody, and concentrate on giving me this virus. That's why it was warp speed. All the resources were put into building this. Now, as soon as this gone, they're gone back to the studies again.
And they'll still be working on viruses for vaccines for other viruses.
Listen, we remember who you hear this and will be dead and gone when some of you younger than be living. Right? This is the future.
Okay.
You're going to be getting so much vaccines for illness, not just COVID. You're going to get it for cancer. You're going to get it for a whole lot of those chronic illnesses that we cannot. You ever hear about a thing called lupus?
Yes.
You right? That is your body making antibodies to itself. We don't want that. That's why people get so sick. It attacks your own body. That's all bad. These things, we only want it attacking foreign things. So all things like that, we will learn
Vaccines
how to take away. Yes. Everything. We're going to be treating cancer with it. We're going to be treating Alzheimer's with it. We're going to be treating every major illness you know down the road, 20, 30, 40 years from now.
All right.
With vaccine. So get accustomed.
All right. One more vaccine-related question. COVID-19 vaccine-related question. AstraZeneca and this, I guess, thought that it's causing blood clots and so on and so forth.
4 people out of 300, out of 10 million. All right, let me give you a statistic. 3 people every day. I mean, I'm saying many, many more than 3. I'll use 3 as an example. Die every day from a reaction to antibiotics. Die every day to action of a bee sting. There's a downside on everything. And you ever hear this thing saying the risk, right? The benefits outweigh the risk. Driving your car down the road at a risk.
Yeah.
Every time you're flying an aeroplane, it could fall down and crash. But if the risk is low, you live your life.
Yes.
Right? And these are very few. And by the way, they are not sure it's the vaccine, because there are other things that could cause clots when you get the vaccine that have nothing to do with the vaccine.
Correct.
So they're studying it.
Right.
Now, if they would tell me 10,000 people have been, you know how much million people get my vaccine that I got already in this country? And up to now, me here, numero uno. That don't mean down the road they may not kill a person. But life goes on.
Right.
As long as it's relatively safe. And by the way, look at all the antibiotics and medication they're showing you on the on the TV.
Read the side effects.
It could it could make your right foot fall out, your ears fall out, your heart stop beating clots, and everybody take it every day.
True.
Because the only thing pure in this world is the man who died on the cross. There's always a downside somewhere. So life is about, not just when you board a plane, life is about you believe the chances of this happening is slim. But can it happen?
All right.
So that didn't frighten me because the majority of effects you have from these viruses is uncomfortableness. It hurt my arm. I feel a little lazy the next day. It will not kill you. How do I know that? How much of them I get already? And in all the years in Trinidad, with all the polio vaccine, I never heard one person die from them vaccine. Out of 3 million people in Trinidad, 1.5 million and 3 million people in Jamaica. You tell me, with all them vaccines we get, how many people you know die from this?
Fair enough.
So come on. By the way, we discussed something. I don't know if it's you I discussed it with. You know why we're going to be left behind? Pretty soon. Remember when I came up to this country, right? I carry a big brown envelope under my arm with my chest. And I carry my immunization record.
Yes.
Right? And I had to show where I get polio and smallpox. It's coming again, people. If you don't get vaccine, don't be surprised if you go out somewhere and say,
travel.
I think you have to show me that you were vaccinated. So now you're doing all of this. By the way, I heard some workplace already asking for it.
Okay.
You could come back to work when you're vaccinated, like they teach us. Don't be surprised if you go to board a plane and they tell you, I'm sorry, you have to show me my vaccine. So get accustomed to the changes that come in.
And if you're able to go and get the vaccine,
go.
If it's your turn, go and get it. Anyway.
I wish I could take all them on and sell it on the side. I'll become
tell you. On that note, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Dr. Ronald Moore and his team at Minimally Invasive Surgery perform laparoscopic robotic procedures with the utmost precision. As a bariatric surgery specialist, Dr. Moore performs a range of surgeries and operations focusing on areas and organs of the abdomen. For gastric sleeve, bypass, and banding, to endoscopic balloon and hernia procedures, call the Office of Minimally Invasive Surgery at 954-797-4220 to schedule your appointment. Minimally Invasive Surgery has 2 convenient Broward County locations to serve you. Call 954-797-4220 to schedule your appointment today.
And we're back to Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. So, Doc, I understand that you have now vented, right?
Yeah,
You've gotten it out.
Because I think highly of my people.
Yes.
This annoys me.
So go and get your vaccine.
Please, not me. You're talking to them.
To them, not you.
Oh, I thought they have another one. I go in if another one come on. If Fauci tell me it's 3, I line up first. What? Don't be careful what you say to me too. You might make me go and get another vaccine for that. You're talking to the audience. Go and get your vaccine. Dr. Alexis guarantee you it's okay.
All right. You hear that? So, Doc, let's get into an area that you are certainly an expert on.
Yeah.
All right. Obstetrics.
You mean woman with baby? When I went to Jamaica, and I went up, you said, obstetrics, what is that? You mean woman with baby? Yeah.
So let's talk about common complications in obstetrics or women with baby.
It really hit me that is something we need to really focus on. And the worst thing is that statistics, as usual, show that women of color, I was told is the word I should use. I should stop using black.
Okay.
Even though I'm very dark, but I am comfortable with black. But people like you, I better say, women of color. You light skin.
Is me a guy in light skin?
To me, you might not be light skin to Mrs. Alexis, but certainly. To me, no, I'm just kidding.
You wait till we get on video, and the listeners can then now see us. For those who have never seen us face to face or in person,
right? By the way, people of color is the right word. I tell you why. Not every disease in America hit the population the same way.
Understood.
That's where genetics come in.
Reasonable.
We are protected against some diseases by the nature of our genes. I'm not talking about a genetic disorder like sickle cell. I'm talking about our overall genome, they call it makeup.
Right.
Is set up in such a way that there are some things we don't get easy and there are some things we get easy.
Right.
All right? So it's same for obstetrics. There's some things that we are likely to get more than another genetic makeup, meaning Caucasian, Latin, even smaller population, Hebrews, the Jews, the people from the Iberian Peninsula have certain diseases again. No single gene we could find, but it occurs so much in that we figure out is our genetic makeup to it. So colored peoples tend to have certain, everybody can get it, that's number one, but we tend to have our fair share of it. All right? And those are the ones I want to deal with. There's one called preeclampsia.
One more time.
Preeclampsia. Now you might wonder why we get a name. Because back in the day, we didn't want nobody to know what we're talking about. Right? It's a kind of condition in which high blood pressure shows up in pregnancy, but it's not high blood pressure because it only comes up when the woman is pregnant.
Okay. And at what stage of the pregnancy does that happen?
Normally it's latter, but it could start anytime. And the earlier, the worse.
Okay.
All right? So that's the first thing. We tend to have a disease in which blood pressure is a part of the symptom. But the person doesn't have blood pressure normally. Only when they become pregnant.
Okay.
All right? And of course, we have another type of blood pressure in which the woman have blood pressure all her life and then she get pregnant on top of it. So that's two types. Right? One we call chronic hypertension in pregnancy. And the other one, we have the fancy name I'm giving you, preeclampsia, because we don't even really know what brings it up. But black people get it more.
Okay.
And then there's a third one in which high blood pressure develops only in the pregnancy. All right? Now, the worst out of all of them is this one called preeclampsia. It occurs more in young people. It occurs more in black and colored people. Right? We don't know the cause of it, but we know how to search for it. Right? The biggest problem, one of the biggest concerns with it is premature delivery. And that is even worse than the blood pressure because the blood pressure is going to go away. But we end up delivering the babies. 40 weeks is the full time they should go. At 32 and 34, so they're small and the brain ain't develop well and they can't see well. And them kids you see with them big thick glasses when they're 3-year-old. A lot of them are what we call preterm birth. Right, which ends up with prematurity is the same thing.
Right.
We have a high incidence of prematurity. One, because of this thing called preeclampsia.
Okay.
And we have another high level of prematurity because our people seem to break their waters before time. The waters should break when you're already in labor.
And what causes the water to break early?
Good news. Me and you will come millionaire together when you find out. Now we have some theories, and I'll give them to you, but nobody has proven them.
Okay.
All right? But we know it happens more in our people. All right? So that's the two things that I worry. And we talked about it the other day. Remember I tell you?
Yes.
Where we have the 70% versus this causes a lot of premature babies. And premature babies are trouble. From the day they're born, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to save them.
Right.
And many of them, we don't bring them up to a nice delivery, and they end up to be nice growing up children and normal human beings. Right. A lot of them.
Yeah, we spoke to that at the last program.
Have little defects, and that bothers me the most. All right, the reason what happens is the waters around the baby, amniotic fluid protects it. That's why a baby in that fluid don't get infected easily. The fluid is kind of bacteria, it kills bacteria. When you break that fluid, that barrier is gone. Plus, the vagina have loads of bacteria normally in a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So once the waters is there during the, I don't care how much bacteria it have in the vagina, generally it will not go up and affect the child and mother.
Right.
But when the waters break, that barrier is gone. That's one of the reasons we can't stay long.
Okay.
You might say it breaks, so what? As long as she's not in labor, go ahead. No, we put them in labor within 24 hours if they don't go on their own. Because if they ever get infected in that womb with the baby, many times we lose the babies and the mother is sick for a long, long time and may die also.
Okay.
Right. So you can see preeclampsia, we deliver them early because the pressure get out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they have other symptoms. Right? Where they could start convulse. So our job is once they come in, monitor them. But if it look like, boy, they're getting close to, we deliver the baby exactly what age it is. So why does black women have the ruptured membranes? You asked me already.
Mm-hmm.
It's called premature rupture of membranes. That's breaking your water before time. Mm-hmm. All right? And why do they have this disease where high blood pressure crops up during the pregnancy, and the whole condition may cause them to have seizures or something? Why us? We think they're doing a whole lot. And by the way, I went into medicine, my residency in 1969, and we still didn't know what was causing it. What year it is now with all our machines, we still don't know what's causing it. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons I believe in a supreme being. Because all them things you can't find out is because it's God's business.
Indeed.
Yeah. Indeed. So that's one of the, with all the science, I don't care what they say. When you explain those things to me, I get closer to an atheist. Once you can't explain it to me, I believe. Yeah. Right. So some of the things they say, stress. In medicine, anything we can explain, Stress.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, if you take it, it makes sense. We are stressed out more than probably because we are socioeconomic lower status. We are stressed out than everybody else in the world. Number two, because it involves high blood pressure, our genes may have something to do with why we get it off. Because now black and high blood pressure go like peas in a pod.
Hand in hand.
All right, right. So those are the two biggest things. We know what is going wrong, and we have been focusing on the changes. But what caused them, we don't know. And many times, unfortunately, the delivery has to be interrupted to save the mother and child. All right, now what can we do about it? Number one, we have found out that you need to do some pre-pregnancy counseling. That kind of hard for my people, but let me put it this way. As soon as you get pregnant, there are certain things you must do. Go on your multivitamins, your prenatal vitamins.
Okay.
Don't wait 3 months until you see the doctor for the first time, and then he puts you on it.
Right.
They sell it all over the counter. I don't care which brand it is. Gummies, anything, as long as it say prenatal vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
We are also found by giving low doses of aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
Seem to be protective in this condition. So therefore, go to your doctors early, right? Because you're black and you're stressed.
Okay.
Get there early, because the earlier they start these preventative measures like the aspirin, the more they could prevent this preeclampsia from it. All right, the other factors, one, if you had it with a previous pregnancy, you're likely to have it again. If you already have high blood pressure before you come into, you're likely to. So you need care very early, and there are some things we can do to really decrease the incidence of this causing preterm birth in black women. Well, women of color.
Women of color. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back.
For the absolute best obstetrics and gynecology care, call South Florida OBGYN at 954-452-4377. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Winston Alexis, who has been serving the women of South Florida for over 25 years. Conveniently located in Plantation, Florida, the courteous and professional team at South Florida OBGYN are standing by to assist you. Schedule your appointment today by calling 954-452-4377.
And we're back to Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis. So, Doc, continue. Let us continue the conversation.
Okay.
So you're speaking about some of the prenatal care, and you said again, your prenatal vitamins, prenatal counseling you mentioned.
Exactly.
So tell me, let's just talk a little bit about the counseling.
All right. Some very basic thing. Adequate sleep.
Okay.
Stress reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, you can exercise, but you go and find out from your doctor or the gym, where they call them guys, your trainer.
Right.
Right? Amazing. All of those, make sure you get enough sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sleep and exercise is important. But again, reducing stress is probably the best thing you could do. Then, people of color go early for prenatal care because they could evaluate you to see if you need to have things like the little aspirin.
Okay.
We could tell from your history and your family history, right? And how often we bring you back have a lot to do with how early we could diagnose these things. Mm-hmm. And the quicker we can and try to control it, the less likely you are to end up with a premature baby that we end up delivering. All right?
Gotcha.
As a matter of fact, rupture of membranes is the same, right? What can do it? Some people think again stress, right? And some people believe there are certain types of bacteria in the vagina that can promote this. When you go for your test early, we test for those bacteria.
Okay.
So the quicker you could get prenatal care, don't wait till your baby walking before you come.
So outside of your reducing stress and getting enough sleep and so on and so forth, any dietary things or any.
Once you go for your counseling, that's part of it.
Okay.
Right? And it's nothing. It's more adjusting your calories. Mm-hmm. It's not the make-up of the food. Okay. Most of the time it's adjusting your amount of carbohydrate you're taking, amount of protein. So it's little adjustments. I don't go through a book. I sit down and say, listen, you have to back off a little bit on the bread and the dumpling and the... You understand what I mean? Especially if the person is overweight or...
And how do you... I mean, just out of curiosity, I don't know how often this happens nowadays, but what about women who, I guess, prior to pregnancy were drinking and smoking?
Right. All of that is in the counseling. I'll tell you right now, a little bit of coffee and tea is okay. Mm-hmm. Everything else you modify. Of course, water is. Right? And then you do little of the rest. Mm-hmm. Right? No drinking. Mm-hmm. Even though I have my personal thoughts on that. No drinking. Right? But when they talk about drinking, they talk about a pint, alcohol or petit quart. Must say a petit quart. A day. Yeah, they're talking about having... and by the way, in foreign countries, they still agree with a glass of wine.
Well, of course.
We'll not go into about it. But in America, we extreme. Nothing. Water, a little juice, and... Mm-hmm. Right. But all of that is the concept. But it's more, instead of some drastic changes, modifying. Except for cigarettes, no.
Okay.
I mean, none. Because why? Cigarettes are related to preterm birth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cigarette is related to babies not growing at the rate you expect them to grow. It's called IUGR. So that is a no-no. Alcohol is, we do it because it makes common sense.
Right.
Now, the alcohol, though, when you're drinking like a quart, a petit quart a day, that now can damage the fetus.
Right. Okay.
Right? So, cigarettes, not even one.
Okay.
Out. Now, ganja, I don't know. That's another story.
Pregnant ladies.
Yeah. Anyway, ganja, check your herbalist. I don't know nothing.
All right. So, Doc, what about? Are there any other...
Well, yeah, think black. And I'll answer it for you. You'll answer the question yourself. What are the conditions we tend to have?
Diabetes?
Listen, you could take over the show soon, you know. So if I want a day off, you could.
I can speak to these things.
Diabetes tend to be a different situation.
Okay.
Again, high in my people. All right? Everybody is trying to get, diabetics who trying to get pregnant should make sure that their blood level, sugar-wise, is completely normal before they get pregnant. Why? They have found that the baby are born with congenital abnormalities if woman get pregnant when her blood sugar is out of whack.
Oh dear, okay.
So when you're planning it, and I'm talking about type 2 especially,
yes.
Go to your primary care, make sure your hemoglobin A1C is normal before you attempt any pregnancy.
Okay.
Because it could be harmful to the child.
Well, listen to that.
Yeah. And they have two different types of diabetes. There are three types of diabetes. But two of them, one, women don't get pregnant too easily. Mm-hmm. Type 1.
Okay.
That's people who genetically born with no insulin.
Right.
They have a very low live pregnancy rate because they have to be on insulin since they're 16, 17. Mm-hmm. And when they come to me, I send them to perinatalists, real specialists who could take care of them. Okay. Type 2 now we see all the time. That's the one I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So first thing, get your hemoglobin A1C under control. That means your carbohydrate level is good. It's not good for your carbohydrates to be high in pregnancy. And that's the problem with people who have a type 2 diabetes and a type of diabetes called gestational diabetes. Difference between type 2 and type 1, gestational, you only have it in pregnancy. Remember what we say about the high blood pressure?
Yes.
This is one where you develop the diabetes in pregnancy. When the baby born, it's gone.
Really?
Yeah. However, it's a marker that you're going to get it when you reach your 40s.
Oh, my.
This gestational diabetes is a tester. If it comes up, you better modify your life for the rest of your life or you go end up with type 2.
Oh, my. Look at that.
Right. And gestational now. Remember, type 2, you're on medicine.
Yes.
Usually metformin. Mm-hmm. These are normal pregnant women who all of a sudden her sugar start to rise in pregnancy. It's called gestational diabetes. Mm-hmm. And once the pregnancy is gone, within a week or so, the sugar back to normal. That's called gestational. And that puts you at risk for developing what when you get older? Type 2 diabetes.
Type 2 diabetes. Okay.
So you have gestational, which have the potential, mm-hmm. and you have type 2, which can harm the baby.
Right.
Okay? It's all about two things. You cannot let too much sugar go over to the baby. It's not good for it. In gestational diabetes, the baby get big, and you end up with a cesarean section of the baby fracturing its shoulder or arm. In type 2 diabetes, the large baby is not so much of a problem as that baby being in distress in the womb because of the type 2 diabetes. So gestational is just the size of the baby you're worried about. Type 2 now is different. The babies can have problems related to the type 2 diabetes that can affect the child, including death, including premature delivery, right? And by the way, most diabetics, not gestational, most regular diabetics, we do not allow to go 40 weeks. We deliver them at 38. 2 weeks before. And there's a simple reason for it. Statistically, most of the babies that die with type 2 diabetes die in the last 2 weeks of pregnancy.
Okay.
So we eliminate that from it.
Right.
Right? So these are the diseases that plague our people. Preeclampsia, a weirdo kind of thing that can make you convulse.
Right.
Type 2 diabetes, and hypertension in pregnancy. What is the problem with hypertension in pregnancy? The higher the blood pressure go, the more it could damage the baby. Right?
So, Doc, again, I want to get back to this prenatal care and counseling. What resources, I guess, prior to getting to your physician or can pregnant women, take? Well,
I have something to admit. In private practice, none of us do all this thing with diet. But you go to a clinic, they pull you up with diet literature, what to eat, and you understand what is happening here. So we are deficient in that.
Right.
Our counseling make a few words. Remember now, eat properly, don't eat too much carbohydrates, don't drink, don't smoke.
So to our listeners,
but the resources are there. You can, as a matter of fact, it's through the public health department.
Right. So I was very deliberate when I asked that question, because I want people to realize, again, there are resources out there that are available to you.
That may be better than the resources you gain at your doctor.
But no, and this is really for people who are probably not in a position to...
Right, exactly.
We had this conversation the last time, and I think it's going to become a common theme. In that, listen, if you feel for some reason that you can't afford it, or if you really can't, there are resources out there for you.
Yes.
There are clinics
that we endorse.
And
don't get me, no clinic will ever be the same as a doctor's office.
Right.
But they are tolerable.
And it's better than going to nowhere at all.
But
Get out there early.
But listen, not all of them. I mean, where is our thing in Kingston there? With the maternity hospital name? Jesus, Lord. Not UWI, the one.
What?
Jubilee. Right, Jubilee gave good care.
Absolutely.
I was there.
Yes.
Cornwall Regional Public Clinic. There are them here that give good care. And the only important is the care. Not how they look at you, not how much the face screwed up. Who cares? As long as you get good care,
that's correct,
and you gain it almost for free.
That's right.
For people who cannot afford it, you do not have to overstress yourself.
That's correct.
Good care is available.
So back to where this program started.
Yeah.
Learn to navigate the system.
Yes.
Learn about the resources that are there, that are available,
and how to get to them.
How to get to them. That's why you're paying your taxes.
Exactly. And who you think running the clinic? Which money you think paying?
All right.
It's your tax money. And by the way, listen to me. They follow the rule more than us. Because when you take government money, you have to. There's a place called Healthy Start.
Yes.
We don't have nothing to do with that in my office. Everybody go to clinic, they send them to people to see how to get free milk. Tell them how to eat. Tell them how to breastfeed.
That's correct.
All of that is available. I mean, I have that in my office.
That's correct.
And it costs too much money for me to put that. Right? But the point is, though, well taken. And by the way, every aspect of medicine, there are ways. Do you know there's a month in this Florida, South Florida, you could get a free mammogram even if you're a billionaire.
Yeah.
Even if you're a billionaire, there's a whole month free.
Yeah.
And there's no big thing. You just go to the place and tell them you don't have no insurance. Okay. What's your name? Sign here. Yeah. Right? It's called Breast Week or Month. They advertise it all.
And Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Right. So take all this, but the take-home question with prenatal care is that our people, because of our economic status and its relationship to stress, and the fact that our people of color tend to have a tendency to develop certain diseases, that we need to go for early care. Okay. We need to go for early care.
All right. Well, Doc, another very interesting topic. Some scary statistics.
Yes.
And again, unfortunately, our people are impacted by this.
Right. I'll tell you something. There's something there too, that like the vaccine. Doc, I don't want to take the vitamin. I said, listen to me. Take the vitamin. I talk about when you're pregnant. Oh, well, I hear you could eat this. I said, take. Oh, Bush, what make Bush vitamins better than the one I swallow every day? Nothing. It's the sauce. My own they make in a lab, yours you get from Pizza Bush like a.
And you're at risk of the Bush not giving you the right
amount.
Right.
It's not that the Bush have it, but there are no regulation. My tablet have to fit a pattern before FDA allow them to put it out. So yeah, Bush can be used as, but it's not. Nobody is what is it? Like the FDA, nobody oversees what they're doing. They don't have no rules and that's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
So then I don't fight against her. Become regulated.
Of course.
So when it say 1 milligram, I know that's what in there. You heard they did a test one time. They test ginseng. Ginseng. Blindly. Nobody know they tested.
Right.
One of them had 80% of what they claim they have. One of them had 50%. But it's statistic I like. One had none. One had zero. This is an independent company that tests these off the shelf. One had zero. I could take the 70 and 50. Zero.
Oh, dear.
Nobody could, and nobody, you can't put them in jail for that.
Wow.
Right? So people, it's not that thing. Let the herbal industry get regulated. But you know what's going to happen? The price is going to go up like regular medicine. So my one piece of advice I'll give you, I take ginseng. Sure. I take turmeric. But me ain't treating no disease with that.
Right. This is just for your...
I'm trying to boost my immune system. But if I get cold, me ain't drinking no turmeric. I go to the doctor and get the medicine that I need to get. Right. And you know what's shame about this thing, and I promise to rest in this. We in the richest nation in the world. And man talking about, we ain't going to take this because they're afraid of that. Tyrone, the only thing that matters in this money is you know what I'll be complaining about? If you have to pay for the vaccination.
That's right.
I'd be up in arms. But free, remember the word, this is the only thing free in America I would trust.
That's right.
Okay, my friend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, please, if you have not done so already, go and get your vaccine.
Yes.
All right. Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis has been presented and produced by the Caribbean American Connection. Until next time, stay safe.
We appreciate your time with us on Medically Speaking with Dr. Winston Alexis, hosted by Tyrone Robertson. Join us next Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on caribcast.tv, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and most other popular podcast platforms. Doc is back. Although the host and guests are qualified professionals, they assume no responsibility for inaccuracies, omissions, inconsistencies, and any slight of people or organizations. Listeners should use their own judgment or consult an expert or their personal physician for specific applications to their individual medical problems.